Hi, this is Bob, working on something different here today. As some of you know, I have a Model A Ford, a 1929 Ford. And the universal joint housing here has been leaking. In the Model A Ford, the transmission oil, which is that 600W oil, runs out the back of the transmission through the bearing in the back and goes into the universal joint housing, where it lubricates the universal joint. You can also pump grease or oil into the housing through a Zerk fitting, which is in there too. That's on the piece that's in the car. The front piece, this is the back. This is the back here. Goes like that. Anyway, I saw this on eBay, and I thought that ought to really work good. And this particular kit here is made by Hot Rod John. He sends you this special tubing. I say special because it has to be something that will withstand being in that oil and grease and not dissolve or get damaged by the oil and grease. So I took the universal joint out. Actually, I took the floorboards out and the covers and the floor mat, which is right here. And now I'm going to, and I cleaned this all up. They say to use brake cleaner. Well, I had a fresh can, no, excuse me, they say to use carburetor cleaner, he says in his sheet here. But I had a fresh can of brake cleaner. Quite frankly, I can't tell the difference between brake cleaner and carburetor cleaner. But the brake cleaner that I had sitting here worked just fine. So I'm happy about that. You cut the tubing a little long on each one so that it will butt together and press and make a seal on the ends. So these are cut just a little bit long. I just eyeballed them, and you can see that's a little bit longer on there. And you got to be careful to cut them nice and square, because you want them to butt up to each other nice and square as much as possible. So anyhow, that's what I've done so far. And then this presses down into the slot where the felt seals were, and the felt seals had completely collapsed. Here's one of the felt seals, had completely collapsed in the transmission oil and universal joint oil and grease, whatever you want to call all that stuff, was leaking around the seal and dripping badly. Plus it was all over the wishbone and that area around there. So I bought this kit. So this is just the first installment here that I'm doing. And I have got clear silicone adhesive sealant. And it says on here this is good for cars. And I'm going to make the gaskets out of the adhesive sealant. I'm going to put it on here and all around here so that it seals up good. I think I'm going to let it set for about 15 minutes before I put this together. And I'm going to put it on both sides, on these here, which mate with this, so that there's plenty in there. And also, when I slide this up and put it in there to bolt it down, I'm going to put some crazy glue on here. I've got some crazy glue that is a thicker stuff, and I think it'll stay on there long enough I can put that together, push it together, and put a couple bolts in before it starts to set up. I hope so. And the silicone rubber glue, the RTV, I'm going to let that dry for about 15 minutes before I get it on here, before I start to put it on the car, so I don't get this gooey stuff all over me and all over other things. Hopefully it will skin over a little bit, and then I'll be able to put it together a little easier without it running and getting on me or whatever. So that's the deal. I'm kind of anxious to try this. I haven't seen anything about it so far on the internet or in any of the Ford forums. So we're going to try it and see how it works. So that's it, guys. Really rainy, cold spring day here in Michigan. So that's it for now.